The movie kicks off right in the middle of chaos. A car zooms down the road, but the ride comes to a screeching halt when one of the tires gets blown out. Actually shot out. The friends inside spill out onto the empty road to assess the damage. Thankfully, no one's seriously hurt, but Rhodey, one of the girls, looks a little out of it after hitting her head. Jeff notices and tries to check on her, but Sarah, always the joker, pulls out her phone to snap a selfie. She says it's to capture the moment and maybe lift everyone's spirits. While she's busy uploading it to social media, Jeff, Todd, and Eric jump into action, trying to change the flat tire. Things are still kind of lighthearted until Sarah notices she's lost her phone signal. Annoyed, she wanders off to find better reception. Meanwhile, Karen has her own phone issues but manages to locate a nearby garage on her map. The downside? It's going to take an hour to get there. That's bad news for Rhodey, who's stressing out about getting to her sister's surprise birthday party on time. The group decides to get moving quickly to sort everything out. Eric takes a moment to disappear into the bushes for some private business, and Sarah, still wandering, stumbles upon something eerie, a roadside memorial. The sight of it freaks her out, and she rushes back to the group to let them know what she's found. Back by the car, Jeff is busy with the tire, joking about how his uncle owns the same model of SUV, though he quickly bores everyone by talking about his uncle's triplets. To change the vibe, Todd starts bragging about his band and how the SUV is perfect for hauling all their equipment. Sarah joins Karen and Rhodey in the shade, teasing Todd as he finally finishes swapping out the flat tire. But the jokes die instantly when Jeff removes the damaged tire and discovers a bullet lodged inside it. Before anyone can process what's happening, Todd hears a strange noise and sees the flat tire rolling away all on its own. Confused, he runs after it. At the same time, Sarah is messing with her phone again when she freezes in horror. Jeff has collapsed on the ground dead. Before Sarah can even scream for help, she's hit too. A bullet pierces her eye. Todd turns to see what's going on, and the group is frozen in fear. Just as Todd tries to move towards Sarah, a second shot takes her down for good. Everything erupts into chaos. Karen shouts for everyone to take cover, pulling Rhodey behind the car with her. Todd tries to follow but gets hit in the shoulder. Eric, just coming back from the woods, dives behind a tree stump to shield himself. The sniper keeps firing relentlessly. Rhodey, panicking, sees Jeff's lifeless body and instinctively tries to make a run for it. But Karen grabs her arm and forces her to stay put. "If you move, you're done for," she warns. Todd, bleeding and shaken, watches helplessly as Sarah takes her final breath. Grief and rage consume him, and he lashes out, but Karen and Rhodey manage to hold him back. After things calm down slightly, Karen checks on Eric and confirms he's unharmed. She starts piecing things together, explaining that the sniper is likely using a suppressor, which slows down the bullets but still makes them deadly. She warns the group that the car isn't safe either. The sniper could still shoot through it. Todd looks at her in disbelief, but Karen reveals she grew up in a family of hunters and knows her way around firearms. Todd, clearly frustrated, insists they can't just sit there waiting to die. Eric suggests they all make a run for it and hide somewhere nearby, but Karen immediately shuts that idea down. If the sniper managed to hit a moving car, running's just asking for trouble, she says. Todd then suggests driving the car out of there, but Karen points out the obvious. The sniper will shoot before anyone even touches the wheel. Then Karen remembers something. There might be cell signals just a few yards away. Todd, excited, grabs his phone and raises it into the air, but Karen stops him. Instead, Jody hands over her selfie stick, and Todd attaches the phone to it to extend it higher. A signal pings briefly, giving them a flicker of hope, until the sniper destroys the phone with a single shot. Furious, Todd demands Jody's phone next, but before he can do anything, Karen grabs his arm and begs him to think things through. Todd takes a moment to calm down and comes up with another plan. He'll try to nudge the car closer to where they got the signal. Karen hesitates, knowing it's risky. If they lose control of the car, they'll be left exposed with no cover. But Todd is determined. He rushes to the car, but the sniper immediately spots him, forcing him to retreat. Todd refuses to give up. Pulling the car key from his pocket, he looks at Karen who warns him one last time, but he's already made up his mind. That's when Karen has an idea of her own. She takes off her hoodie, planning to use it as a decoy to draw the sniper's attention. Meanwhile, Rhodey, in a desperate attempt to help, starts recording a video, hoping to figure out the sniper's location. The group's plan kicks off, and as expected, the sniper takes the bait. He fires twice, aiming at the hoodie that Karen is using as a decoy. Meanwhile, Todd manages to slip into the car without getting hit. He quickly gets the key into the ignition, ready to switch the car into neutral. But Karen, always the practical one, warns him that the sniper's probably onto them and won't fall for the same trick twice. Todd hesitates, unsure of what to do next, until he spots their toolbox. With a mix of panic and determination, he grabs it and starts rummaging through for something useful. Before he can get too far, Eric speaks up, clearly worried about what's going on. Todd tries to calm him down, explaining that they're working on a way to send help. But Eric quickly realizes what that means. He's being left behind. Todd apologizes, but it doesn't help. Eric turns to Karen and Rhodey, hoping they'll have a better answer. But they don't sugarcoat it. If Eric tries to make a run for it, he probably won't survive. Karen, still doubtful about the plan, reluctantly agrees when Todd insists it's their best shot. Todd pushes the car into neutral, but the sniper's not done yet. A shot rings out, and Todd is hit. Karen and Rhodey try their best to hold the car steady, but it's slipping away from them. Rhodey ends up out in the open, completely exposed, but the sniper doesn't take the shot. Karen quickly realizes why. The sniper must be reloading. She yells, "He's reloading. Now's your chance." Without wasting a second, Rhodey dashes for safety, her heart pounding in her chest. She makes it just in time, but Eric, in a moment of desperation, tries to escape. The sniper doesn't let it slide. Eric is shot in the leg, and the sniper seems to enjoy watching him struggle. Karen, thinking on her feet, yells at Eric to tie something around his leg to stop the bleeding. She does everything she can to keep him conscious, but eventually he passes out. Meanwhile, she checks Todd's wound, heating up a hammer to cauterize it. Despite his cries of pain, Karen keeps him calm and reassures him. After a while, Todd notices a water bottle nearby. Using the hammer, Karen manages to pull it out of the car, and the group shares what little water they have left. Eric wakes up, and Karen tosses him the bottle. Just as he's about to take a sip, the sniper shoots his hand, preventing him from drinking. From a distance, the sniper watches calmly, sipping his own water and eating like it's just another day at the office. Later, Todd notices crows picking at Sarah's body and shoos them away, his face full of grief. Karen stares at a selfie they'd taken earlier, while Rhodey pulls out a picture of her little sister. She starts softly singing "Happy Birthday," and Karen joins in. Todd, despite everything, joins too, and then shares something deeply personal. He admits he lied to Jeff about using the SUV for band equipment. The truth is, Sarah had gotten pregnant, and they'd planned to start a family. Todd sold his motorcycle to buy the SUV, a baby seat, and a crib. But during an ultrasound, they found out the baby didn't survive. Overwhelmed, Todd walks over to Sarah's body, gently kisses her forehead, and mourns her. Rhodey and Karen watch in shock, wondering why the sniper isn't shooting him. As Todd lies next to Sarah, Eric stirs and notices something moving in the distance. Everyone assumes it's help, but to their horror, it turns out to be a wolf. The wolf creeps toward Eric, sending everyone into a panic. Todd, desperate to distract the sniper, starts yelling and provoking him. But then he spots a car approaching in the distance. Hoping it's someone who can help, he tries to signal the vehicle. The sniper notices too and scares the wolf away, forcing Todd back into hiding. The car turns out to be carrying a family, a mom, dad, and their young daughter. As they approach, the mother spots the bodies scattered across the road. She's about to warn her husband when a sniper's bullet hits her hand. Chaos breaks out inside the car, and it veers off the road, crashing. Despite her injury, the mother tries to shield her daughter, but the sniper cruelly ends her life. The father, regaining consciousness, pulls his wife to safety and attempts to communicate with Karen and Rhodey. Karen instructs him to call 911, but the sniper, noticing the threat, shoots the car's fuel tank. As the father desperately works on the call, Rhodey tries to warn him, but Karen stops her, insisting the call is their only hope. Moments later, the car explodes, killing the father. Even worse, the young daughter wakes up just in time to be shot by the sniper. Completely devastated, Rhodey pleads with Karen to run away, but Karen has another idea. She remembers that soldiers use smoke grenades to block snipers' views. The two girls work together at night, slashing the car's tires and tearing up the seats to create makeshift smoke bombs. Karen sneaks into the wrecked car, scattering pieces of tire and pouring engine oil. They light the car on fire, and the thick smoke forces the sniper into a frenzy. Enraged, he fires blindly, but Karen notices the bullets are starting to penetrate their cover. She yells at Rhodey to hide behind the engine block where it's safest. As they argue about their next move, a police car shows up. Inside are a sheriff, a deputy, and two snipers. The police begin searching for the shooter, but the deputy struggles to make radio contact. Switching to his phone, he fumbles for a signal. Before he can call for help, the sniper shoots the sheriff, leaving everyone in shock. The deputy tries to take charge, but the sheriff's body falls against the steering wheel, causing the car to lurch forward. One of the police snipers is thrown off and quickly killed by the shooter. Losing faith in the police, Karen tells Rhodey to run while she creates a distraction. Moments later, Karen realizes Rhodey hasn't followed her. She turns back but is shot and collapses. Meanwhile, Rhodey sprints to the police car, where the deputy manages to check on her. Determined, he grabs a sniper rifle and tries to take out the shooter, but misses. The sniper doesn't. He takes out the deputy with a well-placed shot. With no other options, Rhodey jumps into the car and drives straight toward the sniper. Despite being shot in the shoulder, she crashes the car into the tree where he's hiding. The impact knocks the sniper down, but he frees himself quickly. Rhodey grabs his gun and fires 4 shots, hitting him. When the gun jams, she uses it to bash his head. As she pauses, she notices tally marks on the gun, each one representing one of his victims. Enraged, she delivers one final blow, but the gun discharges, hitting her in the throat. As Rhodey collapses, she laughs and cries at the same time, the movie ending with her lying on the ground, victorious but broken.